So welcome back to Welsh Miniature Ball Gamer, and we're going to have another game of Aliens Another Glorious Day in the Marine Corps. And we're going to do a bit of a side mission that we can choose to do to try and rescue Vasquez. So this is a rescue mission, and I'm following all the rules for it. So we don't draw any motion tracker cards until turn 2. And that's pretty much it. I've shuffled up the cards as they need to be shuffled, and we're ready to rock and roll. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw a card for Hicks, as his ability says, and I'm going to put it here, ready to use, and then I'm going to move. And he's going to order Ripley to follow him. And then Frost. And finally Hudson. Now Newt is going to stay where she is, as she always does in these games, and look after the APC. So then we'll be over to aliens phase. So we move all the aliens. So all the blips are moving 6. Right, so we'll be able to see that one. We'll be able to see both of them. Okay, so we're going to flip them over. A 3 and a 1. We'll come back to them now. And then it'd be over to motion tracker phase, but we don't have a motion tracker phase this turn. So it's over to Marines phase. I am going to draw a card for Hicks, and it's the shotgun. And Hicks is going to, for his first action, he's going to aim, knocking his tracker up to 8. And then he's going to start firing. So he's going to spend a card and fire, hitting on 8s. And I shook a 6, so he kills this xenomorph. He's going to expend another card, hitting on 7s. And I shook a 10, so he missed. I'm going to trade in the card that he picked up to re-roll that roll, hitting on 7s, and I shook a 5, killing one of these. He's going to expend another card, shoot again, hitting on 6, and I shook a 5. And he's going to expend another card to shoot again, hitting on 5s, and I shook a 6, so he missed. Next, he's going to order Ripley to move up. 1, 2. And she's going to fire at the xenomorph, expending a card, hitting on 5s. And she shook a 2, so she kills that xenomorph. Next, he's going to order Hudson. 1, 2, 3, 4. By there. And he's going to get Hudson to aim. Then Frost is going to move up by here. And he is going to rest. So you can put 3 cards back from the exhaust pile into our endurance pile. And then, of course, Newt is going to do her usual, and she's going to sleep for 3 cards back into our endurance pile. So we are on turn 2. I should have turned that over. Okay, so then we flip it over to alien phase. So any aliens move first? Well, there aren't any exposed. So then it's blips. So the blips are moving 5. 1, we can see it. 2, 3. That's going to run at Hudson. Before we move any more, we'll do Hudson's reaction fire. So he's hitting on 7s because he aimed. And I shook a 4, so he kills the xenomorph. This one moves 5. Stopping here, just short. Like so. Now we do start drawing for the motion tracker phase. So we draw 2 cards. So it says 1 blip on 3, which is down here. And it says, if this blip is not placed on a spawn point within line of sight of a character, it immediately moves 4 spaces. So it's going to immediately move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next card, recycle 1 card. False alarm. So it's turn 3, so we can knock the tracker up if we want, but from now on it doesn't really matter. And it's over to the Marines phase, so all the Marines reset their dials back to their base numbers. Right, Hicks will draw a card, and it's a hazard, so he immediately has to play this. It says reveal a card until you reveal a weapon card, or you have revealed 5 cards. Okay, so reveal. Oh, first one was a weapon card. Okay. If you discard 1 or more hazards while you're doing this, shuffle this card back into the exhaust pile. Otherwise, discard this card. Oh, so I have to discard that. Luckily, that was my first card I drew, and it was a weapon, so it goes straight into our discard pile. Okay, and because we didn't get a hazard card, we put this card back into the discard also. So that wasn't very good. I wish I hadn't picked that one up, but never mind. Alright, so Hicks is going to expend a card, and he's going to fire on one of the xenomorphs. And he got a 1, so he's killed 1 xenomorph. Next, he's going to expend another card, and he shook a 10, so he missed. So he's going to use a card in his hand to re-roll it, hitting on 6s, and I shook a 4, killing this xenomorph. He's going to expend another card to shoot at another xenomorph, hitting on 5s, and he missed. So that was his first action, because that was all full auto. So for his second action, he is going to aim. So next, he's going to get Ripley to fire. So she expends a card, hitting on 5s. And she shook a 5. So she's going to shoot at this one back here, because this is a big group and she wants to thin it out a bit. She's going to expend another card, hitting on 4s. And I shook an 8, so she missed. So that was her first action. For her second action, she's going to aim. And then we got Hudson. So Hudson is going to aim to knock his aim up. And he's going to expend a thing to shoot, killing on 7. And he shook a 6, so he kills that xenomorph. Does he have line of sight to this one? He does. So he's going to shoot again, hitting on 6s. And he shook a 5. So he manages to hit it. He's going to fire again, hitting on 5s this time. And I shook a 6, so he misses. So that's his turn. We got Frost. What's Frost going to do? I think Frost is just going to rest twice. So that'd be 6 cards back into our hand. And then Newt is going to rest. Well, there's 3 cards left in here, so she'll get rid of those. And she'll just burn her next activation. Her next action, rather. So then we're over to Alien phase. Now the alien is going to come running. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. He's towards Hudson. So Hudson will get cover fire, expending a card, hitting on 5s. He gets a 1, so he kills one of the xenomorphs. And he's going to expend another one to fire again, hitting on 4s. And he got an 8, so he missed. But Ripley is going to open fire to try and defend him as well, because she is within 4, hitting on 5s. And I shook an 8, so she failed. Then we got Hicks. Hicks is going to fire, because he's also within the thing, and he's hitting on 5s. And he shook a 3, so he's managed to hit it and kill the last xenomorph. Next, we move the blips. The blips are moving 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we draw cards. So it says place one blip on 1. Up here. If the spawn point already has a blip or an alien model, move it 4 spaces. It hasn't, so we're okay with that. And next, place a blip on 3. And it says, exhaust 1 card for each character within line of sight of this blip. We aren't within line of sight, so we're okay there. So we're back over to Marine phase. So Hicks will draw a card to put in his hand. And it's an event, so he doesn't have to worry about any hazards. So Hicks is going to move, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like so. And then they're going to follow him. He's going to get Hudson to follow. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And a little Newt is going to rest. Your first action can clear 4 cards, which will put them back into our endurance pile. And her second action, she'll just burn. So it's over to alien phase. There are no actual aliens on the board, so the blips move. So these ones move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The ones on this board move 4. So it's going to get to Hicks, and it's 1 xenomorph. And this one moves 4 also. So it got to Hicks. So Hicks is going to expend a card to fire, hitting on 7s. He got a 1, so he definitely hit it. And kills that single xenomorph in defensive fire. So next we draw tracker cards. So put 1 blip on 1. Exhaust 1 card for each character within line of sight. We haven't got any. And then it says place another blip on 1. If this blip is not placed on the spawn spot, which it isn't, spawn spot within line of sight of a character, immediately move it 4 spaces. So it's going to immediately go 1, 2, 3, but it can't go 4 because that one's blocking him. And it's over to Marine phase. So the Marines are making their way to Vasquez here. And we're going to start with Hudson. And Hudson is going to pick up a card. And it's an event. But he can keep that in his hand to play later. And he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can have line of sight to both of these. So there's 2 in each of these piles. And for his second action, he's going to start firing. He's going to expend a card to shoot, hitting on 7s. And he shook at 8, so he immediately missed. He'll expend his card and re-roll that. And he shakes a 5, so he manages to hit on his re-roll, killing one of these xenomorphs. So he's going to spend another card, hitting on 6s. And he shook a 4, so he kills that one. So his shoot is down to 5. He's going to stop firing there. So that was his second action. So he's going to order Hudson to move up. Hudson's going to go 1, 2, 3. And he'll stop there. And Hudson will fire, hitting on 6s. And he got a 9, so he missed. And then we've got Ripley's going to move up. 1, 2, 3. And she's going to rest for her next action. Recycling 3 cards back into our hand. And then Frost is going to move up and also rest. Putting the 2 that are in there back into our hand. Newt has got nothing really to do, so she's just going to stay there. So it's back over to alien phase. So this alien can see us, so he's going to start running towards us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now they don't bother with Vasquez because she's stuck in the wall at the moment. And then we shake for blips. This blip moves 3. 1, 2, 3. I can't quite see it. And this blip moves 5. So 1, I can see it. 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 2 aliens on this. So that's over to motion tracker phase. And it says place 1 blip on 4. Exhaust 1 card for each character within line of sight. We haven't got any within line of sight. And then it says 1 blip on 1. It says players must either discard 1 barricade in play or place a second blip on 1. So we haven't got any barricades, so we have to put a second blip on 1. So next, it's back over to the Marine phase. I will draw a card for Hudson, and it's body armor. Okay, right, this time I am going to equip the body armor on Hicks. So he has to expend a card to place the body armor actually on him. And this helps him in defense, generally speaking. So his first action is to fire, hitting on 7. I shook a 9, he missed. So he's just going to take it as he missed with that first action. His second action, he's going to shoot again, hitting on 6s. And he shook an 8, so he missed with his second action too. Do I expend a card? Expend that card in order to re-roll that missed shot. And he hits with a 5. So he's going to expend another action, hitting on 5s. And I shook a 3, so he kills that xenomorph. Next, he's going to order Hudson. So Hudson is going to move. 1, 2. He has to stop for a minute while he exposes this one. There are 2 xenomorphs in this pile. And he can keep moving if he wants to. He will. 3, 4. And then for his second action, he's going to fire, hitting on 6s. And he got 2, so he kills 1 of these. Hitting on 5s, he's going to shoot again. And he kills another one. He's going to shoot at this one, hitting on 4s. And he missed. Next, Ripley is going to move. 1, 2, 3. She is going to fire, hitting on 5s. And she kills one. She's going to fire again, hitting on 4s. And she missed. Then it's Frost's turn. Frost is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 by here. And he's going to rest, recycling 3 cards. And then Newt is going to rest both of her actions to recycle 8 cards. So we're over to alien phase, and obviously we've got this alien, so it's going to run at Ripley. So Ripley gets to have a defensive fire of 4, and she misses. Hudson has a defensive fire of 3, and hits, and kills that xenomorph. Next we move any blips. So this blip is moving 3. 1, 2, 3. These blips over here are moving 6. So 1, it can be seen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 can be seen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So next we do the motion tracker. It says place 2 blips on 4. After you place these blips, move each blip 3 spaces. So they can't actually move any more than that, but they just move there. And then we got place a blip on 4. Oh wow, okay. Another blip on 4. If this spawn point already has a blip on it, or an alien model, move that blip 4 spaces. It doesn't, so that is fine. So we're over to marine phase. So Hicks is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he's going to fire. Expending a card, hitting on 7s. He took a 1, so he kills one Xenomorph. He's going to expend another card, hitting on 6s. And he took a 9, so he missed. And I haven't got any cards in my hand to play, because I forgot to pick one up. So it's over to him activating a grunt. So he's going to activate Hudson. Hudson is going to fire, hitting on 6s. And he took a 6. He's going to fire again, hitting on 5s. And he missed. Next, Ripley is going to 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to stand by there. And for her second action, she's going to aim to knock her dial up. Next, it's Frost's turn. Frost is going to 1, 2, 3, 4. No, he's going to stop there, actually. 3. And then he's going to rest to raise, to get 3 cards back into his endurance pile. And then Newt is going to rest to get the other next 3 back into her hand. So we have an alien on the board for aliens phase. So it's going to come charging. And the nearest person is 1, 2, 3. Is either Hudson or Ripley. So I'm going to choose, because it's equal distance, that it's going to come for Hudson. So Hudson opens fire with defensive fire, hitting on 4s. And he took a 6, so he missed. Hicks will open fire, hitting on 6s. And he got a 1. And he's going to fire again, hitting on 5s. And he got a 9, so he didn't manage to get him that time. Ripley is going to open fire, hitting on 6s. She got a 5, so she kills one of the aliens. And then she's going to fire again, hitting on 5s. And she got a 10, so she missed. So the alien actually gets to attack Hudson. So Hudson rolls, and he needs a 5 or less. And I shook a 5, so he manages to fend off the Xenomorph. So these ones are going to move, and they're going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can see all of these ones. 3, 2, and a 2. And it's motion tracker phase, so we draw a card. Place 2 blips on 2. Now, it's just off camera shot, it's by here, but you can kind of see there's 2 blips now on there. If there is 1 or more hazard cards in the discard pile, I do believe there is, randomly select 1 hazard card to shuffle back into the exhaust pile. Okay, so, oops. So we place this one randomly back into the exhaust pile. We'll shuffle it. Next, we draw another card. It says, put 1 blip on 3. Down here. And if the spawn point already has a blip or a model, move this blip 4 places. It didn't, so that doesn't count. So we're over to marine phase. And this time I am going to remember to pick up a card for Hicks. And his first action is to fire on this pointing to Hudson, onto this Xenomorph, hitting on 7s. And I shook a 2, so he kills that Xenomorph. Now he hasn't got anyone else he can shoot at with his second action. So what he's going to do is he's going to aim to knock his aim back up to 7. And then it's Hudson's turn. So Hudson is going to move 1 this way. And now he has line of sight to this Xenomorph. And he's hitting on 6s as he shoots at them. And he shook a 3, so he kills 1. And he's going to shoot it again, hitting on 5s. And I shook a 7, so he missed. That was his second action. So we're going to go, Ripley is going to move up here. So with her second action, she's going to try and free Vasquez. Now, in the rules for this mission, it says that we have to do a test to see whether it's successful, but it doesn't actually say what type of test it is. So I'm going to say it's equal to her tech test, and she needs a 5 or less. And I shook a 9, so she fails this turn to release Vasquez. So Frost is going to, 1, 2, 3. He's going to come here, and he's going to try and free up Vasquez. On a 5 or less, he frees her up, and he does. So Vasquez is freed out of the wall. She has no weapons, but she is with our party again. So then it's over to alien phase, and the aliens come running. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so Hudson. Oh, I've hit the reshuffle thing. I forgot to rest with Newt, which would have helped a lot, but I forgot, so. Okay, and Hudson is going to fire at the Xenomorph, hitting on 5s. He shook a 5, so he kills one of them. And then he's shooting again, hitting on 4s. And I shook a 6, so he failed. Hicks is a win of 4, so he gets to fire, hitting on 7s. And I shook a 1, so he kills that Xenomorph. The next Xenomorph comes running. 1, 2, 3, 4. To try and get Hudson. Hudson fires, hitting on 3s. And he missed. Hicks fires, hitting on 6s. And he shakes a 2, so he kills one of them. And he fires again, hitting on 5s. And he shook a 3, so he kills another one. This last Xenomorph comes running. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, Hudson shoots, hitting on 2s. And he got a 2. So he manages to kill a Xenomorph. And because he's got automatic fire, he could fire again. He will, hitting on 1s. He missed, obviously. And then Hicks is going to fire, hitting on 4s. And he missed. So the alien attacks Hudson, hitting on... So I need a 5 or less for Hudson to be okay. And I shook a 5, so he manages to fend off the Xenomorph. So next we're moving blips. So we're moving 6. So there's one Xenomorph here. And this one moves 6. Oh, they can't go through. So and there's 2 in that group. And then the blips over here are moving 4. And we draw our motion trackers. Place 2 blips on each tunnel token and spawn point. Well, we don't have any tunnel tokens, but we do have, obviously, spawn points to put them on. So that's the end of the aliens phase, and we're back over to marine phase. So, Hicks is going to draw a card. And he's going to put it in his hand. And with his first action, he is going to shoot at the Xenomorph, hitting on 7. 3, he kills it. And for his second action, he's going to move. 1, 2, 3. And he'll stop there. And then he'll get Vasquez to move. Like so. And then he's going to get Hudson to move here for his first action. And for his second action, he's going to fire, hitting on 6s. And he kills a Xenomorph. With his auto fire, he's going to shoot again, hitting on 5s. And he got 2. So he kills another one. still using auto fire. He hits on 4 and he missed. Next, Ripley. It's going to stop here. She's got 1 action left. She's going to aim. And then we've got Frost. Frost is going to run here. And then, remembering about Newt, she's going to use both her actions to rest. So that's 8 cards. So the aliens get to move next. And they go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll have Ripley firing, hitting on 6s. And I shook a 2. So she kills that xenomorph. These xenomorphs on this board move 2. So 1, 2. That is quite useful for us. Makes it a bit easier. Then the xenomorphs on this board move 5. This one gets exposed for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 behind it. And that's 2. So now we're over to the motion tracker phase. Place 3 blips on each tunnel token and spawn spot. Wow. Okay. I think we're getting out of here at the right time. Like so. 3 on that one. 3 on this one. And aren't we glad that we haven't got any tunnel tokens? Alright, we can only fit 2 on this one, so I'll put the other one by here. And 3 on this. Like so. So that's spawning. So it's over to marine phase. Hicks will not draw a card. And he will move. Here. He'll order Ripley to run after him. And Hudson. And then Frost will move on his own. And recycle 3 cards with his second action. Vasquez will also move. Here. And will rest, recycling another 3 cards. Finally, we have Newt. Newt is going to rest both of her actions to recycle another 8 cards. And that would be marine phase. So we'll be over to alien phase. Well, these are the ones that we can see, so these can move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. And then all of the aliens on this board move 1 space. Let me think how we can do this. All right, 1, that one there, that one there. All those will move down 1. And then all these on this board move 3. They're all gathering here. 1, 2, 3. And these move 3. And then it's motion tracker. It says place a blip on 3. Players must either discard 1 barricade in play or place a second blip on spawn 1. Now I've run out of blips, so let me just read the instructions and I'll get back to you of what I'm meant to do. So it says that we have to move every blip 3 spaces if we haven't got enough blips. So As you can see, they're getting rather chock-a-block in there. But, yep, that's that. And our next one, place a blip on 4. I have no blips, so it says move every blip token. 3 spaces. Now, if you're wondering where these rules are, they are on the FAQ for the game. So they're not actually in the rulebook, but they are on the FAQ. So if you want to go and check that out. And it says reveal a card. Okay, we'll reveal a card. And it's an event. It doesn't say anything to happen if you shake an event. So with that, we're back over to the colonial marine phase. And the marines are getting the hell out of you, so... And Newt, with all of them running, is going to recycle the 3 cards back into the deck. So it's over to alien phase. So first of all, we have revealed these ones, so they're running 6. Get in here. And then all the blips on this board move 5. It's like a steam train, you know, just running down the corridor after them. So, then we draw motion tracker. Place a tunnel token in a square that is within line of sight of the character. So, we have to place a tunnel token next to him by here. And draw a card. It's a event, so it says place 1 blip on that tunnel token. There are no blips left. So all the blips get to move another 3. But they can't move through each other. So, I take it that means nothing happens. So we draw another... Draw the front of the deck. Draw another card and it says recycle 1 card. False alarm. We haven't got any cards to recycle. So it's marine phase again. Wow. Yeah. It's one good thing with having all of these blips on the board is we can't really get any more blips, and they're all so jammed up they can't actually get to us. So we're going to activate Hex. He's going to go 1, 2 off the board. And then we'll do Ripley. 1, 2, 3, 4. She gets off, and then Hudson, and everybody else manages to escape off the board. So we've managed to successfully rescue Vasquez, and we've only got 1 extra card in our discard pile. So that's really good. I think we've done really well there without losing anyone, and with the steam train of aliens trying to get to us. So that's the end of this mission. We'll be going next over to the final mission, mission 3, and I hope to see you again soon. So goodbye from me, Welsh Miniature Board Gamer.